Good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of rokrbox TV. My name is Josh Cunningham. I'm the founder and CEO here at rokrbox. Today we are joined, as always, with our VP of Sales and Head Coach, Sam Monreal. How's it going,
Howdy.
Sam?
Howdy, folks. Glad to see y'all again.
And we've got a very special guest today, the CEO of the Professionals Real Estate Group out of the greater Oklahoma City area, Lesley Thomas. Lesley, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. And so the reason for us bringing Lesley on today's episode is she is one of the newest members of the rokrbox family, and we actually got her signed up when we were out in New Orleans at Keller Williams Family Reunion just a couple months ago. And in all of our conversations with Lesley over the last couple weeks and in our continued ramp-up sessions with her team, we've just realized that she is just absolutely crushing it out there with her Boomtown platform and with her rokrbox leads and some of the newest members on her team as well. So we wanted to invite Lesley onto the episode today to kind of share some of her successes and share some of the lessons that she's learned along the way so that we can hopefully bring some value to you and your online lead generation system. So, Lesley, why don't you first start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, kind of what your team setup looks like, and what recent changes you've made.
So currently we have two administration and we have two buyer's agents, and I am handling all of our listings, negotiations, and public relations with the company. Previously, Josh and actually our setup changed January of 2016. Previously, the way that we were set up, I ran 13 buyer's agents. I had 2 listing specialists, and I had over 7 administration, as well as I had some third-party vendors as well. My machine was running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow, that sounds pretty interesting. What caused you to change?
I specialized in new home sales, Sam, and I realized that my growth, that for the last 8 years I was building and developing a company that I had no ownership in, and that at any moment I could easily be replaced. And so I just kind of took a step back and said, this is not creating the life by design that I wanted, and decided that I would shift my company and really start focusing more on traditional business, because my plan is to truly be 7th level. And I was in a position, Josh, that I was ready to make the expansion, but because all of my eggs were in one basket, I was unable to do so because my need, the desire for me, was so strong that I wasn't able to leave that position.
Wow, that's really interesting. So it sounds like you were not necessarily hitting the reset button, but really making a strategic improvement in the direction of your business. And really, it sounds like that happened pretty recently. So about that time is when you started to consider rokrbox. So why did you initially consider rokrbox as a solution for your team? What problem were you trying to solve?
I've had Boomtown for several years, and I've heard so many great success stories from other agents out there that they had received from the Boomtown platform. And unfortunately, I was unable to share that same story with a lot of the agents that I mastermind with. And to be quite honest with you, my Boomtown was very overwhelming to me. I had a lot of back leads in my Boomtown account that I really just had no idea where to even begin, where to start. I had Mojo. I'd put them in the dialer system. I'd try to run it. Thought that I had great success, and then the follow-up was never really on target the way that it needed to be. And mind you, in January when I took this over, I reestablished the role of I'm going to be doing everything myself to know how it's going to work and the success level that it's going to work. And so I had my hands 100% in it when I initiated it. Then I went to family reunion, never expecting to run across rokrbox or anything along those lines. And a good friend of mine said, "Hey, you want to go have like a free lunch?" And I said, "Okay, sure." I had some time to blow. Actually, I was wasting time before I had to be at the airport. And lo and behold, walked in, and there's Josh and Sam, and both who have amazing success and track record in the real estate industry itself. So that and it's on its own made me sit there and go, okay, this is obviously something that I need to listen to, and I did. It was a very easy choice to make, and I'm extremely pleased with the success that we've had so far.
Great. Glad to hear that you enjoyed the free lunch. That's always a good close to try to increase the attendance there. So glad to hear that it's working.
It was amazing. Yeah, more people should have did it.
Some fried alligator and all the Cajun fixins.
Yeah,
that should be
best meal I had all week.
That should be our slogan. Come for the free lunch, come away with a lead conversion system.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we went back to, you jumped back on the plane, you went back to Oklahoma City, and we got you up and running within about the next week. So kind of walk us through that startup process. How long did it take for you to start seeing results and start engaging in conversations with actual motivated buyers?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so well, it was immediate. So, I mean, I can't specifically tell you how many the first week, but I know that we received clients the first week. So, Josh, let's put this into perspective. February 22nd was my launch date with you guys. Today is
April
20th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today's the 20th. In the time period that you guys' company has taken over, we have put 11 buyers under contract.
Wow.
We've listed 3 houses that is specifically through rokrbox. And I added it up, and I hadn't, to be honest with you, added it up until yesterday. But we've made $64,000 off of rokrbox in less than 60 days.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to hear that. That's great,
Yeah.
Lesley.
Yeah.
$64,000 return on investment.
Yeah,
in the last 2 months.
That's what's obviously closed or under contract. So unless we for some reason fail to take it to the closing table, that's the projections as of right now. And that's not including, rokrbox has transferred over right around 70 leads to us. Obviously, you can do the numbers. Our conversion ratios are pretty large. That's not including all of our qualified leads that we have out there that we're nurturing, not rokrbox, that we're nurturing, as well as our watch leads that we have. And we're currently working with right around 9 hot buyers that we're actively showing properties to that aren't under contract yet.
That's great. So our goal essentially is to work all the registrations, identify those motivated buyers that are ready to go and need the services of a realtor who we're then introducing to you. And so right now, in less than 60 days in the program, you have 11 buyers under contract. You also have 3 active listings and projected $64,000 return on investment. That's incredibly powerful. Lesley, how are you making this happen? You have some magic pill in the office, or is there a genie lamp at the front door when you walk into the headquarters there?
No, there's not any genie lamp. It's just it's really easy. I mean, you guys transfer over the leads to us, and as soon as we get the leads, we're calling the leads. Obviously, the biggest thing that we're having to do is we're having to really train on scripts and dialogue and objection handlers, because you're doing a great job of identifying the client for us, but we're having to make sure that our saw is super sharp so that when we get them on the phone, they absolutely, without a doubt in their mind, know that we're the experts in the market and that they shouldn't be using anybody else besides us. They'd be making a really bad decision and not hiring us to represent them.
Well, that's a really awesome story. By the way, anybody else would like to have similar successes in their business, feel free to email Sam at rokrbox. I'm here. But Lesley, all jokes aside, one of the big things that's really important for us, and I know that has been really awesome for your team, is we're calling the leads within 5 minutes of registration, and then when we send them over to you, your team is really calling them right away as well. So how important is that instant response for you guys, and the consumer experience that you feel like it offers for the leads?
Well, you guys send me weekly reports, Sam, on how many people have registered versus how many people you transfer over to the professionals real estate group off of those conversions. And I am seeing a fourth of the registers that are coming in that you're transferring over as I'm ready, willing, and able to buy in the next 90 to 120 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're getting that opportunity to really nurture them. And I think that with the fact that we're handling it so quickly now as a team, that's the reason why we're pulling the numbers that we're pulling. We're talking to the consumer immediately. The consumer is active. They know what they're doing. They know why we're calling, and we're getting it converted. I mean, uh, we wouldn't have made $65,000 in income if we set on the lead for 24 to 48 hours before it was contacted. It just wouldn't be possible.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely hear the same thing from lots of our other clients. So really appreciate you saying that, Lesley. That's awesome to hear.
So I've got another question for you, Lesley. Obviously, we're just south of the Red River
Red
here down
River
in
rivalry.
yeah, we're down here in the heart of Texas, and you're just north of the Red River up in Oklahoma City. So obviously, our team here doesn't have any local knowledge about your market. So when we're fielding all these registration calls and asking them all the pre-qualifying questions, in your mind, what do you think is more important, us having local knowledge or us being an immediate response to your leads?
So I was kind of concerned about that initially, and my concern was from other agents that I had talked to.
Hmm.
Really, it really wasn't a concern that I'm in the top 100 of Keller Williams International, and I'm in a private masterminding group with Gary Keller. And the one thing that they always preach on is is know your scripts, know your scripts, know your scripts, and the business will come. But other agents always told me, oh, you have to know the market. You can't have third parties do this for you. If you do, they're never going to be able to get the conversions the way that you will. Nobody can do it as good as you. And I will say the fact that your company follows a script and asks the right questions has allowed us the opportunity to come in and be the knowledge and the expert about what the client needs. All they're doing is filtering through the people that are saying no and referring over the ones that are saying yes, and they're asking the right questions to get the yes, and they're asking the right questions to weed out the ones that are time damaged. So we have had no issue whatsoever. I haven't had anybody call me and tell me how horrible I am, or this company stopped calling. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard it, but my self-esteem goes up because when I call people, they're expecting my call. So it's not a cold call for me. It's a warm call, I feel, because they know who I am.
That's awesome.
What do you got, Sam? You got another question for us?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like, and this is exactly what we're trying to do for you, Lesley, but I mean, you're basically telling us that it's made your agents' lead generation time more productive and allowed them to focus on the more important agent activities. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So, Sam, let me share a story with you.
I can't wait.
Right? It's so exciting to me. Obviously, I gave you a little bit of background of what I've done in the past and how many associates that I've had work for me underneath me as buyer's agents. And in February, I hired a new buyer's agent after coming back after hiring rokrbox. So it's the end of February, and I hired her for the first 2 weeks. Mind you, she has absolutely no knowledge of real estate. She didn't even have her license yet. She had just passed her real estate course. And the first 2 weeks, because she wasn't licensed, I went ahead and sent her to post license and then had her shadow me and just kind of stuff like that so that we could get the license in, which her license, you can look on Facebook, friend me, and look on Facebook. Her license came in March 18th is when she got her license in. And I asked her, we do 411 meetings every week, accountability meetings. And so I asked her, tell me what your primary source of income is. And she said, Boomtown rokrbox. And I said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Let's go through your numbers. I'd like to share these with you guys. Brand new in the business, never sold real estate. Fairly new to Oklahoma City in general, because she's a country girl.
And her husband's in the military, right?
Yeah, husband's in military. In April, she executed 3 contracts.
Wow.
In April that will be closing. So in March, right? She was licensed March 18th. So in March, she executed 3 contracts. In May, she already has 2 pending contracts. And in June, she already has a pending contract. And with all of that combined, she's well over $1.5 million in
total volume.
In volume, yeah. In 30 days. In 30 days.
So essentially, she got 6 deals under contract pending in 30 days. 6 or 7 deals. Anyways, either way, it's amazing. I mean, that is huge to take a totally green agent, and obviously, she is driven and committed and productive. I know when we had talked previously, her husband likes to joke with her every day when she comes home from work, did you sell a house today? So obviously, she's got a good support system at home. But that's one of the things that I
I know
really
I want to
love.
hire him, Sam.
And that's one of the things that I really love, Lesley, about your story is that, you know, with the combination of Boomtown and Rockerbox, if you have an agent that wants to go out there and win, that wants to go out there and be successful, I mean, literally the sky's the limit in what they can achieve, even in a very short period of time. So that really means a lot to me. That is a lot of validation in the system in my mind. So thank you for sharing that story. That was awesome.
Well, you're very welcome. And, you know, Rockerbox is not financially, yes, financially it is making us money, and that's amazing. And we're touching lives, and we're truly able to help people. But the one thing that Keller Williams really preaches on is recruit, select, and hire great talent. And I will tell you the story of what Jacqueline, which is my buyer's agent, her story is going to allow us an opportunity to truly hire great talent off of what Rockerbox is doing for us. So not only is it going to help, is it financially helping us, but it's going to truly help build our team, not just here in the Oklahoma City market, but will definitely be something that we'll utilize even as we expand outside of Oklahoma.
That's awesome. That's really great to hear. So you're saying that Rockerbox is now something that you can leverage as a recruiting tool, and you know, Jacqueline's success,
Absolutely.
obviously.
I would say that Rockerbox is my number 2 source of income.
Cool.
That's great. Yeah, I love the concept how you're really changing lives. You're presenting someone with an opportunity to enter a very competitive, very ruthlessly competitive environment in the real estate world, where most people are forced to enter it as a me, myself, and I operation. But again, with the foundation that you've invested in here, Lesley, you're truly offering an opportunity to people who want to go out and make something with their lives to join a team and become an expert on a team, as opposed to trying to take on the world by themselves. So that's very exciting. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And I have to say the same thing back to you guys, honestly, because the amount of talent that you have, the way that you manage your operations, you know, I haven't had any complaints. There's been a couple of times where I've called and had a question, and my question was answered immediately, and my problem or the solution to my problem was tweaked within moments of the call, as well as a follow-up call letting me know that there had been the modification. um, we wouldn't have the success in our conversions if it weren't for the training that you guys are putting in to your team to learn the scripts and the dialogues and to truly be able to identify who's a buyer and who's not a buyer. I have very few people that you send, if any, that tell me that they're not wanting to buy. I mean, I haven't had one person that says I'm not in the market to buy, that you guys have sent to me, and that's huge. I mean, I've hired in-house before. I listened to Sam and Sam's story and what he did for another agent, and I tried that model, and it didn't work for me because I didn't have the time to train them the way that you guys have trained your people. And I honestly, I have to give this credit. This credit goes to you guys.
Well, you know, Lesley, I really appreciate that. That's really amazing to hear. And you know, one of the things that I want to touch on underneath that is you alluded to whether it's talent for your team or talent on the Rockerbox team, it's all about the people that make the big difference. And so, you know, one of the things that is you know, important to us is having a U.S.-based call center. So, you know, how do you think the experience really translates to your consumers and your customers and your clients, you know, when they're talking to someone here, you know, really literally just one state away, kind of having that, you know, more culturally connected conversation? How important do you think that is?
I think that it's extremely important. Um, I think that a mass majority of people get turned off when you have a language barrier, and to not have that language barrier is extremely important. I pay with the amount with my return of investment that
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting. Why not have a locally U.S. based company? Why not? I mean, my return of investment, it blows anything out of the water. I don't know that I could see that same return of investment over in the Philippines.
Sure.
Um, Nor would I be, to be honest with you, nor do I want to test it. I'm not that I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep the money in the United States. That's why I live here.
Yeah. Very good point. Um, Lesley, a couple more questions before we let you go today. Again, thank you a million for joining us and taking time out of your day to kind of share your success story. This is the exact reason why we're in business, is to create win-win situations for everybody. So, we're able to create a wonderful employment opportunity for a lot of young college students, and we're also able to connect with actually motivated buyers, and we're actually able to put them in touch with the best team in Oklahoma City to actually transact one of the largest transactions in their life. So that's a win-win-win all around. That's exactly the reason why rokrbox exists. So I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying some of those successes. But why don't you really quickly here kind of give me a little bit of overview on some of the feedback you have on the ramp-up sessions, which of course is our rokrbox Agent Mastery program with unlimited potential, where we jump on a video call with you and the agents on your team to kind of help focus on getting these deals across the finish line. So what have been some of the things that you've learned or some of the realizations that you've discovered in the ramp up sessions?
Well, I think it helps me to understand Boomtown, the expectations, how I should be holding people accountable for their actions, how to really judge what return we're getting, how to organize and categorize our clients to know who really is the now business, who really is not the now business, and just the knowledge alone. I mean, I was able to have a conversation with my buyer's agent yesterday and say, we're doing a great job of making sure that we're setting to-dos up on everybody. However, out of all of the people that we still have X amount of people that don't have to-dos set up on them. We need to make sure that we're setting those up. That's not something that I'm keeping my eye out on all the time. And you guys are, but it's programming me to know that I need to be keeping an eye on that. Also, are we moving everybody over into our pendings? Are we moving them from pending into a closed unit? Some of the struggles we're having. Hey, how do we increase our conversions? We're seeing our conversions are great, but how can we increase them? One of the things that Sam and I talked about is, me coming in and having weekly or bi-weekly calls and just giving my buyer's agents that third-party validation. And helping and seeing if that increases our conversion ratios even more to where they are. I'm happy with them, don't get me wrong, but we always want to improve and see if we can push the limits and be better. And that's what Sam and I had an opportunity to brainstorm just yesterday about. Is I'm not saying I'm unhappy with the results,
Yeah,
but how do I make them better?
sure.
And that's one of the things that he really helps me with, and he's the best in the business. So,
Well, you guys heard it here first.
praise Sam.
So, and I really love that you brought that up, Lesley, because, we kind of, team owners sometimes tend to maybe fall into a trap that with fully commissioned people, there's already inherently a lot of motivation for them to be doing the right things that they need to be doing in order to work their leads at the highest level. And what you're talking about doing, weekly or even bi-weekly accountability sessions with your team, where you as the team owner are inspecting what you expect and looking at the RockerBox agent expectations and saying, hey, this is what a well-organized, well-oiled pipeline looks like, and I'm going to hold you accountable to that. We firmly believe that that's about helping you help them get what they really want. It's kind of this idea that accountability isn't coming down on somebody. Accountability is really love. It really is about saying, you wanted to achieve X, this is the path to achieve X, now let me help you with that. And that's really exciting that, as a team owner, you're really committed to that ongoing accountability so that you can be closing opportunities at the highest level. And maybe, more often than not, Jacqueline can be coming home to her husband and saying, yep, I did sell one today.
I know, right? My goal is that when he says that, she says yes. So then, eventually he just knows that's the case. Like, eventually he says, "What home did you sell today?" That's what I want that to change to. Not did you? What home did you sell today?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So last question for you, Lesley. What advice would you give to a real estate team? Obviously, many different people are at many different places in their business, but just in general, Boomtown account owner that's on the fence about what to do with all their new registrations, what would you recommend?
So this is going to sound candid, and it's going to sound like you guys preempted me to say this. But honestly, hire RockerBox. It's the best decision I made. I wish you guys would have been here 6 years ago when I had Boomtown. I wish that Boomtown said the only way that you can have Boomtown is if for the first 6 months to a year you have to have this company do it, just so we can teach you the ropes on how it needs to be done properly. I think that you honestly, if you don't have a company like RockerBox, if you don't have RockerBox handling it for you, I think you're throwing money out of the window. I would have thrown away $65,000 if I hadn't have had you guys, because I truly believe that I wouldn't have converted at this level. I was too consumed with my back leads. You remember, Josh?
Yes, I did.
I would say that is not an unfamiliar situation that we find. So, guys, you heard it straight from Lesley. Come to RockerBox, get a free lunch, get some reprogramming of the way your team is handling their Boomtown leads, and most importantly, our whole goal is the same goal as yours: help you sell more homes and have more satisfied customers that you can help make their real estate dreams a reality. So, Lesley, I really am super grateful that you came onto the RockerBox TV today and gave such a stirring account of what's happened for you and the successes you had in a short time. It means a lot to me as somebody who has put a lot of heart and soul into this business, and Josh as well, to hear stories like that, because this is why we get up in the morning, and this is really what we're passionate about.
Well, you guys are doing a great job. And I just look forward to, again, not just our growth here in Oklahoma City, but our world domination.
Awesome. I like it. Hey, 65,000, that's a pretty real number, and I'm just absolutely tickled to death inside to realize that we're actually making a positive impact on people's lives. So that's how you generate wealth in life, is to add value to others. So, Lesley, you're adding a ton of value to our lives. Glad that we can reciprocate. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks again to our audience members for joining us. Join us again in the future, as we'll have more success stories to share with you and insider tips on how you can get better conversion from your internet leads. Thanks again for watching. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.